the knee.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask the question and then I'm going to let you talk. So I'm going to put you in a box.
Mm-hmm.
So this box is outside your ankles
Mm-hmm.
to the top of your head.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put a line in the ball 90 degrees to your body.
I can say that. My
Okay.
head's gonna move. I reverse pivot and I end up hitting it off my back foot. That's the way it feels like.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and watch the swing. So you said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to move my head. I'm going to reverse pivot. And I'm going to hit it off my back foot.
That's what it
Okay.
feels like I do every time.
Okay.
Like
So
I'm hitting it like this.
okay. All right. So I'm going to.
Versus
Okay. So let's see if that's the case. All right.
head.
All right. So there's the top of your swing with your head. Now your head. Let's put you in that box. Let's see how much your head actually moves.
I don't move as much as I exercise. I move a lot.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So there's
A
the
lot.
top of your swing.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the lateral or linear movement this way,
Mhm.
that's totally acceptable.
Okay.
Now moving up,
Mm-hmm.
that's hurting you a little bit. So
Uh-huh.
you're changing where the ball is to the ground if you move up, right?
Yeah.
So now you got to go back down. Well, if you don't go down as much as you went up, then you can't get to the ball.
Or I
Right.
go down too much.
Or you could go down too much. So going back this way, I'm not opposed to that. We're just going to stay with your head for a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're back in the box.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You hit this one just ever so slightly. You kind of brushed the grass, but you got away with it because it stayed along the ground a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you'd have hit down on that, it would have been too steep or too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now, beside your head, tell me anything else that you see that you would prefer to change. Because I don't think it's your head. And I think that I'm not going to look at the club or anything else right now. I'm just going to talk about your body. What do you see right there? Look at it over
Right
there.
there.
And I don't care where the club is. I'm not going to even talk. That's where Fred Couples is, so I'm not going to talk to you about that.
Well, I guess I can't see what I'm doing wrong there.
You can't?
No.
All right. So let me put out the tour player.
Is it because my leg is straight?
Okay, and you're getting on the right page now. You're on the right subject. So this is number.
My elbow's out. Seems like it could be in, but
I'm not going to talk to you about your arms and your club.
just my leg. Well,
I'm
that
only
leg
gonna-
is straight. I guess I'm not looking at it else.
So that's why you're paying me big bucks. All right, let's put out.
Oh crap! I need to check my phone.
Okay. Let's take it out of. Let's take it out of Jack. Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack.
Did he pay for a bunch in advance?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, take it out there. Well, he'll just pay again.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is a really good player I teach at A&M, and I'm going to use him as the example because I think you're going to see a pretty big difference in where he is at the top of his swing
Mm-hmm.
than where you are. Let me go back to the draft so I'm not cheat. So I'm going to put him in that box we just talked about.
His shoulder should be covered.
I am not going to look at waist up.
Just on the bottom. Just on the bottom. Okay.
And I'm going to explain to you why.
Okay.
Oops. So he takes the club back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the top of his swing. There's the top of your swing.
Mm-hmm.
Hide that. Hide that. Where's his legs and hips?
They're more over the, well, his hip is more that way. That's enough. And he's more that way.
And where are you?
And more that way.
So when you started, let's see where your right hip is. I'm not going to change that either.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fine. I'm looking at the outside of your right knee to your right hip, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go back, let's watch your right knee and right hip. And you sway back.
Yeah,
That's why the right knee straightens and your hips over rotate. How much has he actually turned his hips to?
Not a lot.
Not very much.
Mm-hmm.
But what he's done is keep his weight more to the left. And if I show you any other tour player up there, you're going to see that their weight is more left than it is right. And because you've moved the bottom of the circle, the arc, the impact position, over to the right. And this is Jack Nicklaus, by the way. Right, so there's the top of his swing. I'm going to put him in the box. outside of ankle. And this, by the way, is when he's 67 years old. His weight to the left. I've got to train your hip. As soon as you move your belly button and your lower body this way, you've moved the circle.
Yeah.
You got part of what you said correct. The only part you didn't get right was you're almost the opposite of a reverse. A reverse pivot is when your weight's over on the left side.
Oh.
And a lot
I
of
don't know what that is because I always assume I'm a reverse when I'm back here and then I lean back and it's all on this side.
okay,
Maybe my
so
turns are.
yeah, if you're in a reverse pivot, when you take the club back, your hips actually move left. That's a reverse pivot.
Oh, okay.
If you slide or move to the right, that's a sway, is what we call that.
Yeah.
Not with your upper body. You're actually, if I put his head in the box, you would see his head probably stay pretty close to the same spot. It didn't move a whole lot. But their legs and their hips actually move like they're in a barrel. They move around, and yours move lateral. So you don't really have time. Let's watch his trick. That's on the outside of his ankle. Let's look at his downswing here. Oh, sorry. So look how far left of that line. I'm going to move this on like this. So he's halfway down. Let's move you to that same position. So your club is moved down about the same amount right now. Look at where his weight is. So you don't really have enough time to get on your left side because you're so far back on the left. You got a fifth of a second from the top to impact. You don't have time enough to get your weight over there. That's one reason I think you like your longer clubs. It gives you more time.
To get back over.
Shorter club, you don't have enough time to get over there because you're so far to the right. So you said, I feel like I'm on my back foot. So there you are. Just halfway through. So club is moved the same amount. Where's his leg?
Way forward.
Way forward. So wouldn't it make sense that the bottom of the arc would divot if his lower body is more this way? The bottom of the arc would have to be moving more forward. If your hips are back, and your head's in the same spot, you're moving the bottom of the arc back here. He's moving the bottom of the arc forward. There. And it doesn't matter who I put up there. You're going to see a very similar pattern as far as their takeaway. You're not going to see any lateral. If you watch that tree in the background, his hips are actually moving left. Which pulls everything back to the left and finishes there. You're kind of spinning off this foot. So you can't really, you're losing speed because on your back foot, all you can do is just do this.
Yeah.
Your arms and your hands. You can see how you finish there. Kind of faked it right here. That looks good.
Yeah.
But you got there too late.
Yeah.
So I think what we have to work on is your takeaway to keep you from swinging back. That move right there is what you do on there. Again, I don't mind the head moving a little bit back, but you can't move your legs back. That's what causes the over-rotation of your hips, too. Anytime you sway, your hips rotate so far back and they under-rotate forward. So you're not using anything down here in your dorsal. You're lucky that you're a good athlete and you have good. Jack told me you were a really good ping pong player.
Yeah.
So you have a really good understanding of where the club head is. I mean, if you played tennis or ping pong, if you were hitting a topspin forehand, you would know what you feel to hit topspin, forehand, and backhand. So you know where the paddle face is. It's no different than understanding where the club face is. The path of the paddle, if you were hitting it inside out down the line or outside in across court, I mean, you get, so your eye-hand coordination is good. The problem is with ping pong, you don't use your legs at all, but to move to get to the ball. You don't use your legs to hit.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of tennis too,
but in tennis you do use your legs a lot. And if your weight's on your back foot, you would be just using your hands and your arms, so you would lose speed, right? But because you have good eye-hand, having said that, because I was a pro tennis player before I was a pro golfer, you can hit it cross court and down the line. You can hit it higher and lower. In golf, you got to hit it the center.
Right, every time.
So the bottom of the arc to hit it solid, which is the whole goal, is in my opinion, what you do with your hips is what's changing the bottom of the arc before back. Even if you release the foot, and I said this to Sissy Curtis before she got hurt, if you could get a better sensation that you felt like that you were going to be left in your backswing, she went, oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah.
And I said to her, I know anything you change feels awful. If I changed your grip, it's going to feel awful.
Yeah, yeah.
But instead of thinking about all of these other, I mean, there's 56 moving parts.
Yeah.
What if we just focus on one? We quit thinking about all the others. I love her to death. She is so awesome. She's like Fran. I mean, they are really cool people, just like you. But they want to think about all of the other things. And I have to say, come out. That's too much stuff. You got to declutter and focus on one thing. That's the good news for you. You really just need to focus on one. And that's a hard one to do.
Yeah.
Because you're not used to keeping your hips turning in a circle.
Right.
Or inside your feet. Because if I put your feet together, because that's going to be the first drill. If I put your feet together and you do that, you're going to fall over.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to be able to do it. So for a while, I would tell you to hit balls either off a mat or off a tee with your feet pretty close together, just focusing on turning your hips in a circle. So that you're not moving left and right. And if you can't do it, then we'll put a stick in the ground inside your foot, and the stick's going to be outside your hip, so you can't go to the right. You can only go around to the left. That's it. Don't think about anything else. You know, and that's going to take some time for you to practice the drills that I give you. But I promise you, it'll change. It'll rock you. It's got to start with smaller folks first. You got to learn to do it with say it's a 52 or something like that.
Yeah.
With some wall. Mr. Pinnock, if he saw you do that, he'd make you hit balls for a week off your left foot.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even
well,
let you.
when we took the lessons before, you know, you had me, you know, put all my weight on my left foot and just say, just keep all your weight on your left foot, because you won't really, but if you think you are, then, and I probably did a good job of that, because I, you know, like I said, I was really playing good and hitting it good and hitting everything solid, and then, you know, nothing like 6 weeks of not playing to forget every good thing you did.
Yeah, I told Dorinda to do that, and she said, after 2 days, she said, I'm hitting my driver all over the place. And I said, are you doing what I asked you to do with your driver? And she said, yes. And I went, why?
Yeah.
You hit your driver great. We didn't talk about your driver.
Yeah.
We were talking about your iron.
Yeah.
Because the ball's on a tee. You got to be behind it with your driver. That's why you probably hit your driver pretty good.
I hit my driver. I hit my driver. That's the thing I hit the best right now. I can hit it.
Because you can be back. The ball's up off the ground.
Yeah.
If the ball's on the ground, you can't be over here. You hit the ground first. Right? So we've got to get you to feel like you're more left. I'm not talking about your head and your shoulders and your spine.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about your hips. I'd show this, and you can share this with Jack. This is really cool. We do a lot of studies on 3D. We have a 3D capture center, but I showed this to the lady in Midland the other day, and she thought I was crazy. And I said, I want you to watch something real quick, and you tell me what you see. So this is a 3D capture of a tour player. Okay. So if you watch his backswing, this is Tommy Armour III, who still holds the PGA single tournament record in scoring, 27 under, at the Texas Open, by the way. So he's taking the club back, and I want you to look at where his hip is at the top.
Wow.
All right, now let's look at it from the floor. This is something you've never seen before with the technology. So I'm zoomed in. You're looking at him from underneath. So that little red button is the center of gravity of his body. So we've made him a wireframe. So let's watch his backswing just for a second. Let me put a line on his left hip here. So here's his left hip. Do you understand what you're looking at?
Wow.
That's the top of his swing right there.
Wow. He took it way out there.
So his chest and his head actually, you remember it was in this little kind of shaded area. So his head actually moved back a little bit. And his center of gravity moved back a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. But look where his hips are.
Wow.
There's, like Nicholas, look. Remember where his foot was?
Yeah.
Look like that. All right, when he comes down, he didn't have very far to go to get left. And it pulls him that way. His lower body's pulling him forward. When you watch golf, you know they all take a divot. Look at the impact here. So look at that. Look how far left. So the center of gravity, and you see that with all great players, which is the center of your chest, is right on the ball arm. Yours, if your hips are over here, which is where yours are, your center of gravity is going to be back here.
behind.
Well, guess where the ball? Guess where the throw's going to be?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's really the only thing you need to work on. But I got to show you how to work. I know what the what is,
Mhm.
but you got to feel what the how is.
Uh-huh.
How do I do that? How do I feel that? And again, it's going to feel like crap in the beginning. But you got to start with something small,
Right.
like
It's
a
not
half
like I'm
inch.
hitting them good now.